press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children, subject social science, topic the freedom movement, the freedom struggle. Okay, topic what children? The freedom struggle. Freedom struggle. Okay, listen here, the freedom struggle. Already we talk about the first battle, the first Indian. Okay, independence war. Isn't it children? The revolt of 1857. Isn't it? The first war of Indian independence happened in which year children? 1857 to 58. Okay. Now we talk about the freedom movement. It started in which year? 1885 to 1919. Okay. The policies of exploitation implemented by the British in the second half of the 19th century sparked way for the budding of nationalism. Newly educated classes who got English education, they understood the real motives of the British administration, and farmers, tribals and other classes who were ill treated by the British were waiting for a stern uprising against the British. During that period, what happened? Growth of nationalism increased all over in India. India is a land of diverse culture. Isn't it children? Here we see so many religious people live together in India. It means India is a land of diverse cultures. It has a long cultural and historical heritage. These laid an ideological foundation for the growth of nationalism in the second half of the 19th century. Nationalism is the germination of the feeling we are one. It is the feeling of we are one, the minds of the people of a distinct geographical area. It is called nationalism. Once again listen here children. What is nationalism? Nationalism means it is the germination of the feeling we are one in the minds of the people of a distinct geographical area. The lack of proper coordination among the Indians, what happened in 1857, first war of Indian independence was failure. Isn't it children? This enabled the conscious Indians to get organized. Gradually it turned into a national movement. Okay, various factors inspired the growth of nationalism. Which are these children? They are introduction of Western education and modern science. It is also help for growing the nationalism among the Indians. By reading thoughts-provoking works of Europe, Indians who were educated in English, they understood the national political tendencies of the British. The concepts like liberty, equality and fraternity, which took birth in Europe, politically motivated them and instilled a desire for freedom in them. The educated people disproved the British calculation. Indians who have learned English will stay in support. Next point is uniform administrative system. The Britishers, they implemented uniform administrative system in India. It is also helped to grow nationalism in Indians. The British brought India under uniform administrative system. As a result, India who were confined to uniform rulers felt that they were equal. Likewise, in one united voice, all Indians opposed various acts and laws implemented by the British, okay, which were annoying the people. This led to the growth of nationalistic consciousness among the Indians. Next, exploitations also. It is also reason for the growth of nationalism in India. Through their economic policies, the British remained responsible for the decline of agriculture, trade and industries in India. They converted land in a commodity. Okay, Dadabhai Nauroji exposed the way British were looting the wealth of India through his drain of wealth theory, isn't it? Next, realization of heritage. Foreign scholars like Sir William Jones, H.D. Colebrook, Max Muller, Cunningham, etc. through their study enabled Indians to know about the historical, cultural heritage of India. And then social religious movement started in India. Social reformers. Social religious reforms or movements started in India. What happened? So many social reformers they did. They created the social awakening in Indians, isn't it? Social reformers of the 19th century such as Rajaram Mohan Rai, Dayananda Saraswati, Jyotiba Phule, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Swami Vivekananda and others advocated the importance of education to the deprived and exploited communities of India. While Dayananda Saraswati sowed the ideology of Swarajya and Swadeshi, Vivekananda awoke the stagnant society. This brought a new perspective for the growth of nationalism in India. This made the learned people more creative. Inspiration of the first war of Indian independence. First war of independence. This event enabled the Indians to be politically better organized. In addition, fearless considers like Mangal Pandey, Lakshmi Bai, Hazrat Mahal and others, they became martyrs of the war, isn't it? They sacrificed their lives for the Indians or India, set themselves as a everlasting inspiration for the next generation of leaders, okay, their idol. Next, the Britishers, they did racial discrimination, isn't it children? British believed that they were supreme and considered Indians the most uncivilized. All the higher posts in administration were reserved only for the Britishers, isn't it? This naturally created unanimity among the Indians who were exploited by these rules and policies alike. All Indians in one voice opposed the cruel laws and doctrine of lapse which were inhuman. Thus, these factors led to the growth of national conscience called unity, and then Indian National Congress established in 1885. Indian National Congress was the dream child of retired British civil servant Allen Octavian Hume. It was established in the year 1885 in Mumbai. Umesh Chandra Banerjee was the first president of the Congress. There were 72 members in the first convention of the Congress. Most of them were lawyers, journalists and upper class people. In fact, it was the first political platform that boosted the national movement. Okay, what are the objectives of the Indian National Congress? They wanted to bring together and build a strong bonding between the political activists of different parts of the nation. They wanted to establish national unity, to formulate public opinion by placing the demands of the people before the government, to generate nationalism in place of provincialism. Okay, next we talk about age of moderates. Age of moderates. Okay, the leaders who led Indian National Congress in the beginning are called as moderates. The period between 1885 to 1905, it is often considered as the age of moderates. Once again, the period between 1885 to 1905, it is often considered as the age of moderates. They had faith in the constitution, being loyal to the British, okay, and then loyal to the British rule. They followed the method of moderates. They followed the methods. Which methods they followed, children? Praying, pleading and agitation. These were the methods of moderates. Once again, what children? Praying, pleading and agitation were the methods of followed by moderates. Along with this, they tried to persuade the British for social, political and economic reformation. The prominent moderate leaders were Dadabhai Nauroji, Surendranath Banerjee, Gopala Krishna Gokhale, Mahadeva Govinda Ranade and others. They were the leaders of moderates. Because of the struggle of these moderates, Indians were able to enter legislative assembly. It was due to their efforts, the truth that the British were the main reason to the pathetic condition of India came to light. At this stage, by getting trained in political aptitude, Indians created a national perspective for anti-British protest. Okay. Important moderate leaders, they demand for the British, demands of the moderates are freedom of speech and publication, suppression of the judiciary and separation of the judiciary from executive, reduction in military expenses, installation of primary, secondary and technical education, cancellation of ban on weapons act, provision of banking, irrigation, medical and health facilities, complete cancellation of tax on salt, conducting of ICS examinations simultaneously in England and India, creating representations for Indians in central and provincial legislative assembly, appointing Indians to higher post, etc. And then we talk about age of radicals. Age of radicals. It started from 1905 to 1919. The moderates were unable to reach common people, children. The common people, they did not like the methods of moderates. The methods of praying and pleading of the moderates were ridiculed by the radicals as the policy of mendicancy. Okay, youths could not get attracted by these moderates. A new group emerged in the Congress which questioned that wait and see policy of these moderates. They were the radicals. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bala Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal, they were the leaders of radicals of this group and were popularly known as Lal Bal Pal. They were popularly known as what, children? Lal Bal Pal. Lal means what? Lal means what, children? Lala Lajpat Rai. Bal means Bala Gangadhar Tilak. Pal means Bipin Chandra Pal. They were the leaders of radicals. The period between 1905 to 1919 is considered as the age of radicals. Bala Gangadhar Tilak was a great patriot. His intensity of desire for freedom could be sensed in his proclamation. Swarajya is my birthright and I shall have it. Who said this, children? Bala Gangadhar Tilak. Swarajya is my birthright and I shall have it. He brought people close and intact by introducing Ganesh and Shivaji festival. Who introduced these festivals, children? Bala Gangadhar Tilak. Why he introduced these festivals, children? Because he wanted to gather the people during that period. That's why he introduced the Ganesha and Shivaji festival. Through this festival, the people gathered. Okay. And then he published a newspaper like Maratha and Kesari and inspired the people politically. Okay. Bipin Chandra Pal started the Daily New India, while Aurobindo started Vande Mataram. Lala Lajpat Rai was popular as the Lion of Punjab. Who was the Lion of Punjab, children? Lala Lajpat Rai. He was popular as the Lion of Punjab. He was the Lion of Punjab. He wrote, we get Swarajya as a right and not as arms. Another important, Bipin Chandra Pal organized mass protest in Bengal. Another important methods like boycotting foreign goods, using only Swadeshi goods and opening national schools. Okay. Next, now we talk about Partition of Bengal. It happened in which year, children? 1905. Partition of Bengal. 1905. Okay, what happened, children? The first partition of Bengal was territorial recognition of the Bengal presidency implemented by the British in 1905. On 16 October 1905, announced by Lord Curzon. Okay. Once again, listen here, an important event that inspired the national struggle of the radicals was the partition of Bengal in 1905. What happened in Bengal? The nationalism growth in rapidly, okay. It spreading all over in Bengal. That's why the Britishers, they wanted to suppress these revolts. They suppressed the people of Bengal. That's why they did partition of Bengal in which year? 1905. Okay, the British, they wanted to divided the people, Hindu and Muslims. They wanted to divide Hindu and Muslims. That's why they did partition of Bengal. They divided Bengal in which year, children? Yeah, 1905. The British were anxious as the wave of nationalism in Bengal was getting a strong imputes. Hence, in order to bring down the rigor of nationalism, Lord Curzon attempted to divide Bengal by separating Hindu and Muslims on the basis of religious differences. Religious differences in opposition to the division 16 October 1905 was observed as National Mourning Day throughout Bengal. Rabindranath Tagore sang the song Amar Sonar Bangla as the national song. Bankima Chandra's Vande Mataram became the song of patriots to signify the unity of Bengal. Hindu and Muslim exchanged their Rakhis. Unable to withstand the strong protest, the British had to cancel the partition of Bengal in which year? 1911. And then established a Muslim League in 1906. Next we see Surat Crisis. It happened in which year? 1907. On the ground of controversy over Bengal partition, the radicals had held agitation on Swadeshi and prohibition of foreign goods. The moderates wanted to confine the protest only to Bengal. Moreover, they were not ready to the direct confrontation with the government. This led to the outburst of differences between the moderates and the radicals, giving way to political confusions in the Congress. In the 1907 Congress session held at Surat, in this session what happened? Congress was split, divided into two groups, these moderates and radicals. Okay, after the split of the Congress, the government took punitive measures against the radicals. Several of the radicals were sent to jail, a few were sent to exile. Tilak was given blackwater punishment and he was sent to Mandale jail. Okay, and then to make the radicals politically inactive, the British tried to win the favor of the moderates and the Muslims by giving greater representation in the legislature. To carry out his intention, parliamentary reforms were implemented in 1909. In this act, they created a separate election constituency for the Muslims. Meanwhile, First World War broke out in 1914. This gave a new force to the national movement. In 1916, Lokmanya Tilak and Annie Besant organized a Home Rule movement. Next, Rowlatt Act. Britishers implemented Rowlatt Act in which year? 1919. In December 1917, a committee was formed under the guidance of Justice Rowlatt. Okay. Its purpose was to suppress the revolutionary activities in India. That's why ultimately the Rowlatt Act was implemented in February 1919. According to this act, on account of suspicion, government could arrest any person without giving any reason. Without prior notice, the government could search any person or his house. The arrested person could not even appoint a lawyer. Hence, Indians opposed this act very strongly. Okay, and then Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened in 1919. No sooner did Gandhiji started satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act. Agitations began in various parts of Punjab. On 13th April 1919, a meeting was held in Jallianwala Bagh garden, a little distance away from Golden Temple in Amritsar. Okay, the intention was to demonstrate against the arrest of their leaders Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal in the meeting. The security officer of Amritsar, General Dyer, in order to teach a lesson to the protesting people, ordered to open fire at the unarmed innocent people after closing the exit door of the park. Taken by surprise, the crowd fell in a panic. As per the government report, only 379 people had been killed. But what happened, children? In this session, the common people here gathered and they are listening the speech of their leaders. Suddenly, the General Dayal, the officer of Amritsar, he ordered his army to open fire. He started the firing. So many innocent people, they became innocent people killed in that place. Okay, the crowd fell in panic. As per the government report, only 379 people had been killed. In reality, the number of deaths were higher than what the report said. Revolutionary nationalism started all over in India. Some of the radicals set themselves for armed revolution. They were called as revolutionary nationalists. Their aim was to fetch at the earliest complete freedom for India. Indians' patriotism and a tendency to sacrifice was the basic concept of revolutionary nationalism. Vasudeva Balwant Phadke was the first among the revolutionaries who formed secret organization. Damodara and Balakrishna Chapekar brothers were the intimate associates of this secret organization. Both of them were arrested and hanged till death. The other noteworthy revolutionaries of the nation were Vinayaka Damodar Savarkar, Khudiram Bose, Chandrasekhar Azad and Bhagat Singh. Khudiram was the first martyr to be hanged in the history of Indian freedom struggle in 1908. At that time his age was just 19 years, children. Okay, and then we see here Vinayaka Damodar Savarkar was another revolutionary in 1899. He organized a Mitra Mela. The British government sentenced him for life imprisonment and sent him to Andaman jail. Okay, and then we see here Chandrasekhar Azad joined the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association and he was associated to some cases like the Kakori conspiracy, bombing the Legislative Assembly Hall and firing at British officer Sanderson in Lahore. In order to escape the British soldiers, Azad fought all alone with a small pistol and finding the last bullet in his pistol, he shot himself to keep his vow of not getting arrested by the British till death. Okay, and then Bhagat Singh, we see here Bhagat Singh joined the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association and he became its principal secretary. In 1929, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhadev bombed Central Legislative Assembly, Delhi. These three were caught, tried to hanged in Lahore Central Jail. Bhagat Singh was the first Indian to give the call Inqilab Zindabad. It means long live the revolution. Understood, children? Thank you.